Everyone, welcome back to Eve Math Tutoring. Today we're going to be working on calculus and evaluating limits. So say you're asked to evaluate the following limit. So the limit of x approaches as x approaches -1 of 5. So I can't actually plug in -1 into this constant, so that means the answer would just be the constant, which is 5. But if I have something like this, in this case, I can actually plug the 2 into here. So I would get 3 times 2 to the 4 minus 5 times 2. And then I would use BEDMAS. So I would evaluate the exponents first and then the multiplication. I would do exponents and then multiplication. 3 times 16 minus 10, which is 38. Clear. So let's try a different example. So say I have this example here. X goes to 1, x squared minus 6x plus 5 over x squared minus 3x plus 2. So here, if I plug in the 1 into this thing, then what happens is the bottom becomes 0, which is a problem because then the whole fraction becomes undefined. So if I can't plug the 1 in, because if I do, I'm going to get something that's undefined, so that does not exist. So what I need to do is change this somehow. So what I can do is factor the top and the bottom. So I think of two numbers that add to -6 and multiply to +5. So two numbers would be -1 and -5. Those are two numbers that add to -6 but multiply to +5. And then for the bottom, I would think of two numbers that add to -3 and multiply to +2. So -1 and -2. So then
bayağı bir sataşmıştı bana. İşte siz niye daha bu şeyler, borderlar... Kaç ediyor kız, konuş şey yapıyor. Tamam hadi gel o zaman. Konuyu açtım, başka odaya girdim.
So it would become x minus 1, x minus 5, and then x minus 1, x minus 2. And then you could actually cancel these out. So now, if you plug in the 1, you can actually evaluate this. You're going to get 1 minus 5 over 1 minus 2, which is -4 over -1, which is equal to 4. Okay? Let's try another example. If I plug in -3 at this point, I'm going to get something that's undefined, which is not going to work. So what I need to do is I need to expand the top and see if I can change it. So here I would FOIL the top. So first terms, outer terms, inner terms, and last terms.
Okay, so this time I'm saying to make sure the announcement bir şey yapma. Bu sefer
So here we can add all the like terms. So this is like with this, and this is like with this. So I would get -3 plus 2x plus x squared over x plus 3, which would be equal to the limit as x goes to -3, x squared plus 2x minus 3 over x plus 3. And then I would see if I could factor the top. So I want two numbers that add to 2 and multiply to -3. Well, that's just +3 and -1. So I can change the top to x plus 3, x minus 1, or x plus 3, and these would cancel out, and then I could go ahead and plug in the number. There is not undefined anymore. So I would get -4 as my final answer. Okay?